So 2010, Mortenson is primarily a construction organization. It is about $2 billion in revenue, has about 2,000 employees, maybe a little bit less, mostly Midwest-based, but a few other offices across the country. And we saw a huge opportunity to differentiate ourselves and become a very different organization. We saw the looming retirement of a bunch of our senior leadership team and the cascading effects that that was going to have on the organization. And realistically, we had this innovative passion to grow. Our greatest limiting factor was leadership capability. We just couldn't put leaders in the right seats to take on the new ventures that we had dreams of creating. And so with the looming transitions of our SLT, with the inability to grow the way that we wanted to, we knew we needed to change. We called MDA and said, we need some help with this. How might we do it? And that's where our advanced leadership development was born. And now, 7 years later, about 140 folks through it, we'll tell that story as the day goes on. For us, it was really a business imperative. You know, it's kind of like the Marshall Goldsmith adage, you know, what got you here won't get you there. Like, we knew we weren't going to get where we needed to go if we didn't do something dramatically different. It didn't take a lot to convince the senior leadership team that this was the way to engage a core group of leaders in building the organization of the future. And so, you know, we were lucky to have that opportunity and that support early. We've had these 4 tenets really since year 1. That personal development really starts with that awakening process and generating some insights based on an assessment process that we do with MDA. From that assessment, they build a development plan and have the opportunity to structure a conversation with their manager. We call it an alignment meeting. But what it does is it gives them a chance to tell the story. Here's what I learned during the process, here's what I'm really committed to working on, and here's where I need some help from you. And that conversation is pretty powerful, because what it does is it gives that leader some permission to share some of the things that they've been struggling with and to make sure that it's aligned with what the goals of the organization are. The curriculum is the next thing. We bring folks together 5 times over the course of the year, the 5th one being their action learning presentations. It's about 2 or 3 days each. But we really cover 4 key things. We cover authentic leadership. How do I know myself and creating a leadership point of view for myself? We focus on strategic leadership. It's the opportunity for them to really understand how the organization develops strategy. It's an opportunity for them to really understand some of the challenges and the questions that the senior leadership team has had to wrestle with as we built the business. And then we focus on talent leadership, and that gives them a lens to what responsibility do I have in building the future of the organization. The last session is really focused on customer leadership, and that's our mission, to create an exceptional customer experience. The action learning projects are projects that really are gnarly strategic challenges. And one of the things that we say is that, you know, we're not going to give the team a problem that we could solve ourselves. We're going to give the team a problem that really only some targeted focus from some high potential, very smart folks are going to be able to solve. And so we keep a running list of those projects, the kinds of things that we're thinking about, and then, you know, whatever becomes hot as the year goes on, we actually pick those out and work through those. We really didn't have an enterprise understanding of what talent looked like. And so one of the things that this did for us is it forced us to start thinking about talent in a different way. Our Seattle operating group leader knew their talent, but they didn't know the talent across the organization, and we weren't making really smart decisions about who would fit best in what role. But one of the things that we've started to institute is in essence, I mean, something that most of you probably do is a talent review. And so we do individual talent reviews by the group, but then we bring the senior leadership together for a day or 2 and really walk through the enterprise-wide talent. You know, what are we seeing? Who are the rising stars? Who are the folks that need new opportunities? What kind of experiences would they benefit from? We started talking about talent as an organization and as a senior leadership team rather than just talking about talent within the business. And that's made dramatic efforts. And realistically, one of the things Paul talked about was getting the senior leaders involved in our advanced leadership development, because that gave them a lens and had them develop a relationship that they never had before. One of the ways that I might think about that is the sense of responsibility that folks leaving the program have for the company rather than their job. And so our CEO left, we wrapped up last night, right? So our banquet ended about 10 o'clock, and the last words that we heard from our CEO was, now it is your turn to take this and carry it on to your teams and the teams that you manage into the future. And so, that developing that sense of responsibility for understanding what others are doing, curiosity for other parts of the business, and a passion for continuing to improve it would be outcomes that I don't think we ever thought we were going to get, but really do. We set out to grow. We set out to differentiate based on customer experience. We set out to build new businesses. And realistically, that's how we measure it. So we don't necessarily look at the individual results. We do follow-up 360s 2 years later and measure the deltas. But realistically, I started the story with in 2010, we were a $2 billion organization struggling to differentiate and seeing a significant opportunity in the market. Today, in 2017, we're an over $4 billion organization. We've started 10 new businesses since 2010 and put leaders from the inside into those roles for the future. And so we have record sales, record backlog, and realistically the highest level of customer satisfaction and team member engagement that we've ever had. And so when you add all of those things together, something's working right. And what I love about our senior leaders is that they're mature enough to really say, it's not about the individual metric, it's about the holistic metric, and things are looking pretty good.
Need help developing your high potential program? Let's begin a conversation.